Does the brand new Christian Bale mystery thriller hold up? Find out next. How's it going, fellow cinephiles? This is Dominic from Film Overload, the channel where we talk about movies, pop culture, and everything in between. And today this is going to be a very quick review, but I am reviewing the brand new film, The Pale Blue Eye. This is a Netflix film that stars Christian Bale, and I have some thoughts about this movie. Right away, what struck me about this movie was the eerie looking poster, believe it or not. The poster was actually really creepy, but it intrigued me because the poster just looked so cool. And when the movie finally came out, I had the chance to see it on Netflix, and I thought this movie was a pretty average film for a couple of reasons. The first reason is this. I personally love mystery movies. I think they're very fun, they're very intriguing. Usually we have some pretty well-written characters, and that big reveal at the end. And this movie does have that. It really does have like that really like unbearable tension of the main character maneuvering his way through the story to find out what is happening. And the ending is why I consider this an average movie. The story focuses on Christian Bale's character, who is a detective who's hired by a group of people to solve the mystery of why a group of soldiers are being picked off left and right. And I thought that right away, the premise itself sounded incredibly interesting. So I sit down and I watch this film, and like I said, it's a very interesting building of tension throughout the beginning of the movie, and then it just kind of stops. And you kind of feel unsatisfied, or at least I felt unsatisfied while watching how the ending kind of unfolded. It just wasn't as satisfying as I thought it was going to be. I thought that they could have done some things differently. They could have done some things better, in my honest opinion, as well. Maybe through the writing, maybe a little bit. But overall, I thought that the storyline and the idea was actually really intriguing, which is really the only reason why I turned this movie on. One of the few highlights of this film is indeed Christian Bale. This guy is an Academy Award winner for a reason. He just puts on a great performance in this movie, and every single movie I've seen him in, I mean, he's really nothing short of excellent. I have not really seen a movie that he's in where he only gives 50%. He gives 200% every single movie I see him in. And in this movie, there was no surprise at all. He just delivers a really solid performance, a really grounded performance, which keeps you engaged, not only his character, but in the plot as well. And again, I think he's just a really solid actor. He's a really good actor, and we should hopefully see him more in future projects, whether that would be, in movies or television. I think he's just a really great actor all around. Another standout in this movie is the performance of Harry Melling, and Harry plays Edgar Allan Poe, who is a side character in this movie, but he also aids Christian Bale's character in figuring out what is going on throughout the story, which ultimately makes his character rather intriguing. He has a few moments in here where he really delivers that moment that you expect, but then also at the same time you don't expect, because just of how much facial expression that Harry has through his acting and through some really solidly written scenes for his character. I thought they really chose the right guy for the job for this movie and for this particular role. It was great seeing him in another movie. I think the last movie I saw him in was The Ballad of Buster Scruggs, which was the Coen Brothers film. And I thought he was really good in that as well. So shout outs to Henry Melling for another solid performance, in my honest opinion. As I've mentioned before in the past, I am a sucker for beautiful set design, and considering when this movie took place, that there was no shortage of really lovely production design. I absolutely loved the way this film looked, and pair that with the really crafty and yet sophisticated and also subtle cinematography in this movie. The very eerie combination of those three things really made the atmosphere perfect. The very foggy, doom and gloom kind of atmosphere, which really paired nicely with the story and its main ideas. So shout outs to the technical crew for this movie for really delivering that really spooky kind of eerie atmosphere, which really lended itself in telling the story. The ending, however, was not the only gripe I had with this movie. The pace is a little bit slow, in my honest opinion. It takes its sweet time to kind of get the mystery out there and to try and weave through, the whodunit kind of process. It did take a little bit of time to get to the really big points, which was kind of a letdown. I kind of like a fast-paced kind of mystery. This was the complete opposite. So that's my other gripe for this movie. Which is the reason why I consider it also to be somewhat of an average film. Overall, The Pale Blue Eye is a average film from Netflix and a very interesting start to their movie calendar. I'm intrigued by a couple of their projects this year. I hope Netflix has a much better year than they did the last year. But so far, a very solid start with The Pale Blue Eye. There's some parts of it I really enjoyed, and there's a couple parts that I did not really enjoy too much, making it an average movie in my honest opinion. Once again, thanks for watching. If you liked what you see, please be sure to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and turn on the bell notifications so that you guys can get notified every single time I post a video. You can follow me on Letterboxd, which is right here. I post all of my movie reviews on Letterboxd, as it helps me keep track of movies that I have watched, movies that I haven't watched, and movies that I will watch. And I think you guys would benefit greatly from this app and this website if you are indeed lovers of cinema like myself. As always, guys, happy movie watching. Take care.